So at one time, actor Jussie Smollett would be considered on the top of the world. Some people seem to think that you need to be the most famous or highest paid in your field to be at the top, but I disagree. I think anyone who has successfully accomplished a long-term goal is winning in a major way, and for a couple of years this guy was living out his dreams of being in show business. You see, Jussie was acting for years and years and years until he finally got his big break with the show Empire. I've seen the show. Smollett plays a very conflicted gay man in the music industry named Jamal, and even though the show is super corny, this did a lot for his career and making him more of a household name, landing him some other prominent acting work. You have to understand that as a child, Jussie and his 3 brothers and 2 sisters were all encouraged to act, so this is really all he ever knew. Y'all might have remembered him from the movie Mighty Ducks back in the day. Yes, that was him. But in the time between Mighty Ducks and Empire, he was only getting very small acting jobs. But once Empire hit, it really was a huge deal. I know the world has shifted in the way we see the LGBTQ community, but even as recently as 2015 when the show premiered, seeing a leading gay black man on a major network show was essentially unheard of. So what I'm trying to say is that this man had a lot of support over his 5 seasons on the show, and he was even using it to leverage a career in music. So it seemed like everything was going great for him, but then Jussie made a huge mistake, and not only was this mistake the size of a mountain, but it was all in the public eye for everyone to see. If this is not self-sabotage 101, I do not know what is. You see, in January of 2019, Smollett told police that he was attacked outside of his Chicago apartment building by 2 large men in ski masks and red hats, saying they shouted hateful rhetoric as they stomped him out, and that one of the men exclaimed, "This is MAGA country," as in the Make America Great Again slogan held by former President Donald Trump. Most infamously, the alleged suspects also took the time to put a Boy Scout's knot around his neck and even pour an unknown substance all over his body. Basically, what Smollett was trying to do was stage a hate crime against himself to pander to a certain side of the political spectrum and further his career. He wanted to make it seem like this happened because he had spoken out against the Trump administration in the months that preceded this hoax attack, even sending himself death threat letters in the previous weeks to make his story more believable. But the idiot really did not think about what he was doing. For one, he hired 2 black men to carry out this job, and let's be honest, how many black people are gonna be yelling out "This is MAGA country" in Chicago of all places after handing out a beatdown? Not many. Secondly, the night he called the police, he left the Boy Scout knot tied around his neck until they got there. I mean, I know he's one to put on a performance, but that doesn't even make sense. Still, he went on to continue the performance by lying through his teeth during this interview right after the incident.
I kept walking and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "The did you just say to me?" And I see the attacker masked, and he said, "This MAGA country," punches me right in the face. I was just jumped. And then I look down and I see that there's a rope around my neck.
So immediately the police was skeptical of his story, and once they arrested the guys who beat him up and found security footage of the men buying the materials used in the fake hate crime, it was pretty much a wrap for his career, but still Smollett stuck to his story. And at first all the charges against him were dropped, which included a class 4 felony and a $100,000 lawsuit from the Chicago Police Department for wasting their time. And like I said, he was cleared on all these charges, but the damage had already been done, and this guy could never face the public again after what he tried to do because most sensible people thought he was full of shit. I mean, what a fucking idiot he actually was. Like, you are a pandering sack of shit. Because you know damn well if some random people took the fall for this beatdown, Jussie wouldn't have batted an eyelash. And this also took away legitimacy from actual hate crimes that occur every single day in this country. The man who was once propped up as some sort of LGBTQ hero was now seen as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And he thought he was in the clear, at least legally, but once they decided to reopen this case, it was the beginning of the end. They said the previous prosecutor was showing favoritism, and so they wanted to run it back. And in 2020, they indicted him on 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct for filing 4 false police reports. The 2 brothers testified going into significant detail that they were recruited by Smollett to stage the attack, saying they were instructed to rough him up, and yell out screams as if they were Trump supporters in front of security cameras. This was obviously more than enough evidence to find him guilty, and so on December 9th of this year, they found him guilty on 5 of the 6 counts. So not only did Jussie lie to the police multiple times, but also to a jury while being held under oath. And he lied to the general public. In fact, he still won't admit the whole thing was a sham. You have to understand, this guy used the anguish behind racism and homophobia to try and further his career, and I can't think of a much lower thing to do than that. So he is now facing up to 3 years of time in prison, and we will see his verdict in the new year. I have never in my life seen this level of self-sabotage. This guy was on his way to being a beloved actor with generational wealth, and now he will just be remembered as a clown. So let me know what you guys think down below. As always, I do want to thank you guys for watching today's video and subscribing, and as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and I'm out. Peace!